In the last few years, the action RPG has exploded in popularity. For most of the 2000s, gamers were either playing Diablo 2 or a game of its ilk. It's of no real surprise then that plenty of developers have tried to bring this style of game to iOS, with varying degrees of success. Now, Gameville is throwing its hat into the ring with Dark Avenger, bringing its freemium stylings along for the ride. The results are pretty much what you would expect. You start the game by selecting from what will ultimately be 3 classes, but at the time of the review, only the Templar, a kind of rogue assassin type, was available. Each stage comprises a small series of interconnected chambers in a moodily lit dungeon. You are attacked by waves of enemies whom you must kill while collecting loot, gold, and leveling up your character. In between stages, you can buy new items from the shop, sell or forge the gear you found, and level up your skills and abilities. Each upgrade or shop item has 2 prices. One is in gold, which you earn in-game, while the other is a specific in-app currency. You do earn enough to improve some gear and stats during the campaign, although we advise you don't try the infinite dungeon till you've completed everything, but after a few stages, you get the distinct feeling the game is holding back on drops and loot to persuade you into making a purchase. The real problem, however, is that the combat itself simply isn't that engaging. There were similar problems in Gameville's latest Zenonia game, in which the standard attack is a pretty boring multi-hit combo that has no real power behind it. The skills you learn do allow you to mix things up, and their use is important strategically, but the core gameplay is very repetitive and grindy. Gameville definitely has its fans, and this sort of combat does appeal to a certain type of gamer. For us though, combat all too often feels like a chore, rather than an exciting, engaging experience. As with most of the developers' releases, the presentation is good, but not great, with a decent level of audio fidelity. If you enjoy the company's style, or really love yourself some action RPGs, by all means give this one a try. After all, it will cost you nothing. However, don't be surprised if the game's uninspired combat and repetitive nature does start to dampen your enjoyment after a while. This has been James with AppSpy.com. We review, you decide.